sure, don't All right, good evening. Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Monday, August 24th. We'll begin with the salute to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Mr. Shepard, can you poll the board or call the roll, please?
Supervisor Galloway. Supervisor Latecki.
Here.
Supervisor Palmer.
Here.
Supervisor Mullen.
Here.
And Supervisor Dents.
Here. Mr. Clark, item 1 is our executive session. You can comment on that.
The board held an executive session prior to this meeting to discuss a matter of litigation, to discuss a vacant property in the township, and consult with the township's engineer. This was for informational purposes only. No deliberations occurred and no votes were taken. To talk about a fee reduction request. This was for informational purposes only. No votes were taken, no deliberations occurred. And to discuss a potential grant opportunity. Again, this was for informational purposes only. No votes were taken, no deliberations occurred.
All right, thank you. Before we get into public comment, if anyone is here for item 6, the e-bike ordinance, that's going to be tabled. I think we're going to, there's not much we can do with that. We decided we may revisit that at a later date, but it's not going to be anytime soon. So I don't want to waste anybody's time by sitting here all night for that, because that's not happening tonight. And with that, item number 2 is public comment. 5 minutes per person and 45 minutes max. We have 2 sign-in sheets. Catherine Ireland is the first one. Can you state your name and where you live?
I don't need to state my address. You already know my name.
Are you a resident?
I am speaking for the residents.
No. Are you a resident of Falls Township?
I'm speaking for the
No,
residents.
you're not.
I don't have to
Are
be
you?
a
Yes,
resident.
you do.
You do. We have
Why?
we
You
have
have
a
a
resident.
non-resident
Every single
list?
time I've been here, you have
No.
delayed the public
No.
comment
All
from
right.
non-residents.
Please.
I demand to be heard.
You're not going to be
Please
heard right now.
proceed.
If there's
Okay,
a time,
well,
you can get to it.
I have
No,
absolutely.
don't sit down. Point of
We
Point of
have
order.
not been given a chance to have public comment from non-residents.
Kelly
I need to ensure
Kirkpatrick
that.
is the next name on the list?
Will anybody relinquish their time?
No, they're not going to relinquish their time. It doesn't
They
work
would
that
though if
way.
they wanted to.
Stop.
You don't speak for them. Just
I-
like you don't speak for everybody else. when
Kelly
you make meetings.
Kirkpatrick, is there a Kelly Kirkpatrick? Thank you. There's not that many names on the list. There's no reason we're not going to get to
I hope so.
non-residents
I
tonight.
hope so.
Hello, Kelly Kirkpatrick, Falls resident for 40 years.
Thank you.
It's crazy everything that has happened in the past 2 weeks since our last meeting. The DEP ended the public comment opposing the 280 generator expansion, and they've received over 1,200 emails opposing it. Also, the governor, he's ended the fast tracks, and he even put stricter regulations on any data centers that have proposals for Pennsylvania. The last meeting, there was a comment made from you, Aaron, about the NDA wasn't for that long. We had a chance to stop it when it was voted on last year, and we only care about it because it's national news. Here's the problem when you tell us to trust you. You told us this was a warehouse bringing jobs while simultaneously keeping the negotiations, projections, and supporting information behind NDAs and confidential walls. You're not asking us for trust. You're demanding it from us. You, as our elected officials, do not get to demand blind trust from the people. You serve the people from Falls Township, not the shareholders in Amazon. They don't have a seat up there with you. They should not get confidential briefings, NDAs, or get negotiations deals with the bills, because those are what we are going to end up paying for. You are to protect the people of Falls and not Amazon that wants millions of dollars in public benefit while putting a strain on the infrastructure of the residents. Economic development is not a blank check. A job is not a bribe for silence. An investment is not a substitute for accountability. If you are saying the data center is going to be good for Falls, then show us and guarantee it. Protect the people who are paying the price if something goes wrong, because you are supposed to be the firewall between corporate power and the people, not the bridge between them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next name is Debbie Diaz. There's a handheld mic there you can use.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to make it all work. Somehow, I know you told me I had to stand someplace.
You don't have to stand, you're good.
Do you want to use the mic?
This
Or you want
one, does
someone
this
to hold it
work?
for you?
I don't know, somebody want to hold it, we're good.
You want to hold, yeah, okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Debbie Diaz, and I'm a Falls Township resident. Okay, good evening, members,
Good evening.
panel and neighbors. Okay, I'm here to speak directly to the core issue. Lower Bucks County is full. We have carried the heavy industrial burden of this region for 70 years, and we are drawing the line right here tonight. Amazon has state officials call this data center a clean tech investment. That is corporate marketing. The truth is that this project introduces a massive industrial strain to an area that is already legally and physically overloaded. Look at the facts. According to the EPA, Bucks County is an official non-attainment for ground zero ozone. I'm living proof. Emissions from the Fearless Energy Plant, landfills, heavy industry, and thousands of diesel trucks already exceed federal safety standards. Our air is failing. When the DPA reviews Amazon's application, they look at it in isolation because Amazon promises to keep individual emissions under 25 tons per year. It is classified as a synthetic minor source, but our lungs do not breathe paperwork. We breathe the cumulative total of everything dumped into our air, adding 280 natural gas generators and massive diesel backup engines to a failing air basin is a direct threat to public health. It is a loophole and is an environmental injustice. This is also an economic and community threat. We invest our life savings into our homes. Turning this into a massive tech industrial center damages our real estate values and lowers the desirability of our neighborhood. Nobody moves their family to a town branded as an active industrial zone. Worse, this infrastructure sits right beside our local schools. We are currently spending millions of tax dollars recently to build our schools' infrastructure, yet we are allowing 280 pounds of polluted smokestacks to spin within breathing distance of our children. Now look at our water. Amazon plans to reuse the legacy open-loop system built by U.S. Steel. That system that destroyed the America's shad migration and wiped out the bald eagles along our riverbanks. It took 30 years of grueling conversation work to bring the Delaware River back to life. We now see bald eagles in our area. Amazon claims that they will only draw a peak 4.4 million gallons of river water a day during hot weather, labeling it as non-contact cooling water. But heat is a physical pollution. Pumping superheated water back into our river lowers oxygen levels and threatens the aquatic life we just restored. Furthermore, corporate track records prove we cannot take Amazon on its word. Just this year, Amazon settled a $20 million lawsuit in Oregon over groundwater pollution caused by its data center. Corporate promises disappear the moment a permit is signed before the ink is even dry. The developers argue that because this site is an old industrial brownfield, it is acceptable to keep using it as a dumping ground. We reject that logic. A history of industrial exploitation is a reason to heal our environment, not a legal justification to continue it further. Furthermore, we must address the false choice we are being given. If the DPA denies these permits, this 250-acre parcel was already approved for a traditional logical warehouses with jobs. Reverting to the original plan completely eliminates, threat of 200 emission-producing smokestacks and protects our neighborhoods from this heavy utility footprint. Governor Shapiro recently decision to pull the project from the state's fast-track permit process proves that our projections are grounded in undeniable facts. The state is listening because the data is out on our side. Tonight, we demand that the DEP look into the total combined health and financial burden on our families. We demand a comprehensive, independent, cumulative environmental impact study. Until a full study proves that these 280 generators will not worsen our air quality crisis, this permit must be denied. Force the developers to go back to the warehouses they originally planned and bring jobs to Falls Township like they state they were going to. The data center does not give us jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Seema Kazmi?
Is there a stenographer here to take notes on all of this? To keep track of
No, it's being recorded. You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay. Sometimes the subtitles are off on the videos. I'm just making sure.
Well, there is someone remotely doing that. The minutes will be the minutes.
Thank you, Falls Township Supervisors, for the opportunity to speak. My name is Seema Kazmi, and I am a resident of Falls Township. Recently, there was a fire in a Falls Township home on Amesbury Road where 8 area fire companies responded. Falls Township, Fairless Hills, Levittown number 1, Levittown number 2, Morrisville, Tullytown, William Penn, and Yardley Makefield. The roof of this home collapsed while trying to contain the fire, and luckily, there were no deaths. The Levittown Rescue Squad also responded. With the planned project of possibly 11 Amazon buildings for the data center at the Keystone site, were you aware that for only 2 Amazon data centers in Jerome Township, Ohio, over 84 calls were made for fire emergencies over a 4-year period? And in April 2025, a 30-hour fire at Amazon's server building resulted in $50 million worth of damages, and 2 worker deaths were reported. When responding to fire calls at the Amazon data centers, it was reported that fire personnel sometimes have to wait for access for up to an hour by security due to the sensitive nature of the data being stored. This results in emergency personnel being tied up and makes it difficult, if needed, to respond to another local fire or emergency. The tax abatements given to the owners of the data center do not provide for the increased costs for handling for fire emergencies. It should be noted that recently, actually I think last Thursday, Bristol Township Supervisors voted to close the Newportville Fire Company after 99 years of service. What are your plans of handling a fire emergency for the data centers at the Keystone site for the Amazon data center? So that's one question. If you want to answer now or you want to wait.
We're not having a Q&A, just a public comment.
Okay. And I'm going to also ask, was this matter discussed with the Bucks County Planning Commission? They actually look at fire safety in the county. I wanted to make an ask of the township supervisors that since much more information has been shared about the potential environmental and quality of life impacts of data centers, if the prior approval can be stayed or paused until more environmentally friendly measures are implemented or proposed to operate the data center. For example, the Seattle City Council in the state of Washington implemented a one-year emergency moratorium on large data centers with an order to study impact on the grid, water use, land, jobs, and public health. And as Ms. Diaz previously cited, I'm going to cite it again. In March 2026, Amazon paid a $20.5 million settlement in Morrow County, Oregon, over allegations that its data centers contribute to nitrates in the water supply linked to increased cancer and miscarriages in residents. I hope that the Falls Township Supervisors will consider these matters and support an emergency moratorium on building the hyperscale data center and consider the environmental and community impact, especially on our emergency services. Thank you.
John Tadlock?
Hi, John Tadlock, 65-plus year resident of Falls Township. I'm no fan of the data centers, but I'm more concerned with how they came to be here and the procedures and things you did. On July 21st, a man named Kevin Jarvis posted on social media the results from his right to know request to the township. Thank you, Kevin. If you're here, if you're listening, thank you very much. Unfortunately for me, it created as many questions as answers. And I was hoping that perhaps tonight, the board could clear up just a few of the many questions I had. Now, I know it's not a question and answer thing, maybe at the end, if you want to address any of this. First, the NDA. Has the Board of Supervisors ever signed an NDA with any other private company other than Amazon? If so, who? And if not, why now? Second, on August 13th, 2024, the Zoning Board granted North Point a variance of the noise ordinance. It's listed as performance standards. It's section 209.43. And in it, they list different frequencies and the maximum amount of decibels. And I say variance, but in reality it was an exemption. It does not increase the allowable decibel limits, say by 20 or 50%, but rather lets North Point ignore them altogether. Has the board ever granted a complete exemption to any other business of this or any other ordinance? If I need an exemption, is it going to be easy for me to get one? Third, there is a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, related to electrical permitting fees. Now, to be fair, the signature line for the township is left unsigned, but Amazon Data Services signed, and Mr. Bishaw signed it. And in this memorandum of understanding that I have, it says, whereas the developer submitted to the township plans for the construction and development of subject property, the electrical project construction costs, which is approximately $19 million. And whereas, based upon the plans submitted, the township has calculated the electrical permit fees for the construction and development of subject property are estimated to be approximately $14 million. Skipping down because of time, the parties agree that due to the extraordinary estimated amount of electrical permit fees, that the developer will instead pay 1% of the estimated electrical project cost. So that's $190,000 versus $14 million. So my question, is this MOU in effect? Did the township waive nearly $14 million in permit fees to Amazon? Did we collect $14 million in fees? Now, there's another project on the horizon. And it seems we are repeating this pattern of capitulating to the developers. This item, number 7, on the agenda tonight, is written in vague language. It is, in fact, a 1 million square foot warehouse on Penn Valley Road. Yeah, Penn Valley Road, like there's room for a 1 million square foot warehouse. That's about just under 23 acres. Okay.
He's not paying attention to you. Look, I'm smiling over there on his phone.
It doesn't matter. You are planning to change zoning tonight to facilitate the project. It hasn't even been formally proposed by the company called Newly. It goes before the Planning Commission tomorrow. So who is motivating you to this item number 7 on the agenda to put out for bids? You don't even have anything formally proposed yet. It's going to be interesting to see how submissive the planning, zoning, and board of supervisors will be towards Newly going forward. Is it any wonder that there is so much anger, distrust, and skepticism? This board must stop favoring developers over the residents of Falls Township. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Batiste?
I have a question. We're on Penn Valley Road.
You can stick around for that. We're getting to that.
Okay.
Tony Batiste, Fairless Hills and Falls Township. First, thank you for the new fancy clock. I almost didn't see it, 'cause I had to be told where it was. I was looking up there, which makes it easier, of course, when you're timing your 5 minutes. Second, but thank you for it. Second, I noticed there is no mention of the zoning redo for the data center in the agenda. But it would be, I know it's only been a month, but it would be nice to have updates on what's going on with the changes and how everything's going, so that by the 3rd month, we should have a rough draft that we can all kind of look at, citizens as well as you guys. And so that we have, after that, 2 months to have debate, opinions, and maybe even a separate lawyer review from, say, an environmental lawyer or something like that, and finalize it so that at the end of 6 months, it's presented for a vote or presented however you're going to present it. Also, I respectfully request that North Point, Amazon, Governor Shapiro, and San Sero, and anybody directly related to the Amazon data center not be a part of formulating these zoning changes. And in fact, it would be nice, I think I would like to request a list of all parties that are actually going to participate in formulating the zoning changes. Third, I do reserve the right to put in for public opinion on item 7 in case you skip over public opinion. Fourth, the additional 9 to 13 buildings for the Amazon campus. We approved 1, and it was originally a warehouse. They finagled it into a data center, and now it's a data campus. And I went to their presentation at the big meeting that we had, and they had a chart that had 14 buildings on it. So I'd really like to know, when did we get all these extra buildings? Did they all go through separate application processes with separate zoning and planning processes including? Where are they all coming from? And who's deciding that they're actually out there and what they're doing out there with them? And the 5th thing is, thank you for the big print in the agenda. It's very helpful. And I believe you've also increased the volume for the speakers, and it's easier to hear from the back. So thank you for that also.
Michelle Earhart?
Hello. Thank you for your time tonight. My name's Michelle Earhart. I live in Falls Township in Thornridge section. I'm here tonight to support all of these people and all of the issues that they mentioned previous to me. They know lots more about things than I do, but as I'm learning about this process, it's becoming more and more of a concern to me. It seems that when I look at other projects of Amazon building AI data centers, that there are really tremendous issues out there about water, about electricity, about environmental issues, the noise levels. I drove by a big warehouse that I believe is the warehouse that is Amazon recently. And it is right smack in the middle of a little neighborhood with businesses and houses, and I'm thinking, this doesn't seem right to me, that it can just pop up like that. At the very least, I feel like you people who negotiated this deal did not look at it very closely or closely enough. We live in a township where the steel mill industry racked our environment, and now we're up against another major environmental assault. In this recent month, I've been really reading a lot about the global water crisis and how that is also in the United States and Arizona, where they're building tons and tons of AI data centers. You know, that concerns me. The cost of all this concerns me and how it's going to affect my pocketbook. Water, electricity now, water I'm concerned about. You know, water isn't a fun thing. AI data centers are not a necessity for life. Water is a necessity for life. I'm concerned for my family, for my children living in this area and what this is going to impact our area. And I strongly believe there should be a greater moratorium on it. I did read about the governor's actions this week. And from what I'm kind of understanding, it's really not going to do too much for our project here in Falls Township in terms of slowing that or stopping that. I do have a question about that, and I'm not sure if someone can address me today or address me at a later point, but I just am wondering what you do know about how the governor's moratorium is going to have on this project that's already been started. So if somebody could either answer that today or send me some kind of response, I'd really appreciate that. Again, just supporting everyone and wanting to get on record as saying I do not believe in these data centers and how quickly they're coming about and the impact that they're having on our environment and our expenses and everything else. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Bell?
Hello, neighbors. Bell, Falls Township here. My main focus here right now is Newly. Newly is a death trap. It's going to kill all of the little children through endocrine disrupting chemicals. If you've ever heard of pregnancy chemicals, this is one of them. Newly is a dry cleaning facility for used clothing in all 50 states. They're going to have a plume of chemicals nearby the schools, in the neighborhoods, and it's going to kill off or cause diseases for the new school that's going to be built for the little kids there. Newly is going to be operating 24/7, 365. This must be a sweetheart deal for someone to have a fast-track program for this chemical company in the middle of the neighborhood, upstream from Martins Creek. We've already heard everybody talk about the data center. You all now have a responsibility to gain the trust and tell Newly to go to the Falls area where the data center is being built for 1 million square feet of facility. There's no reason to have 1 million square feet of facility of dry cleaning chemicals that's going to be effluents or discharging chemicals out in the Martins Creek. If you think about Newly, think about car washes. They're going to be using brighteners and detergents and all these enzymes and so forth in high pressure washing machines. And it's going to be spewing out into the environment, like I said, 24/7. You know you're from Levittown when is Levittown a cancer cluster? Remember that Lower Bucks County area was once fields. This is from Mark McDermott, not from me. In Levittown back in the 50s, you could still find asparagus in the fields. We don't want to repeat ourselves. This is, somebody that's old. And practically overnight in Delaware Valley was a new, they talk about the fields and so forth and how they were irrigated. And the new industrial revolution was in Falls Township, affecting our air, water. A lot of people who did not work at the steel mill or Roman Haas would be shocked at the particles, chemicals, oils, and God knows what that was brought home embedded in our bodies. The list is endless. And that doesn't even cover the construction materials used in buildings and homes, nor the thousands of other business industries that affected us. Unfortunately, as a part of progress, we need the tax revenue, right? And as time goes on, we learn to manage it is the best way we can, and then we have processed food and the like. That's from one person. The last one I want to read is from Beverly Maher. I grew up on Flower Lane and Farmbrook. The direct proximity surrounding my home had 7 people with cancer in 5 homes. Later, my mother moved to Greenway Circle in Wisterwood and Fairless Hills. It was a small street, and there were so many people that passed away from cancer, and they were mostly 40s and 50s. All of you up there have a responsibility at this point to tell Newly to go where to go, and that's down where the data center is. If they can't do that, go by where St. Michael's. You got a nice little flat land there where St. Michael's is. Everybody's questioning where the money went for the cleanup site there. If somebody could explain that.
Where?
St. Michael's, the dump site.
That's totally different. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I'll send it to you. It may be something that you may be concerned with. Mary Lou Buck, I did home care for Lower Bucks Hospital for about 10 years and saw a strong correlation between certain sections and various forms of cancer. Most of my patients in Kenwood had cancer. I always said if I went back to school for a more advanced degree, studying Levittown and cancer incidences were going to be my project. But she got divorced and couldn't do it and so forth and so on. And I just want you to know that endocrine disruptor chemicals affect the thyroid, liver, pancreas, ovaries, testes, adipose tissues, adrenal glands, heart, parathyroid glands, pineal gland, hypothalamus, and pituitary gland, all that affect the children. The children will not develop the way they need to if you allow Newly to come into the neighborhood and spew its chemicals in the neighborhood. Right down the street, Penn Valley, where Oxford Valley Road and Hood Boulevard meet. They should not be there. This is a high-density area, and Jones Engineering should know that and tell them to get lost out of the area. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jen Metzger.
Usually not that exciting. Jen Metzger, Falls Township. Okay, so everybody covered a ton of stuff. We're mad about the data center. It's done, right? I'm glad a bunch of contractors got jobs. That's awesome. We needed that, right? But the problem is they're not the long-term jobs that we were promised. So we gave them a bunch of tax abatements, and now we're up the creek, right? So, speaking of which, Newly is supposed to go at Route 13, Martins Creek, essentially runs right under there, and Penn Valley Road, 700 Penn Valley Road, right? Now, I totally missed it on the agenda tonight because I was watching for it for tomorrow, and I've been talking with the lawyers directly. So, I don't know how it is that we're going, God bless you. I don't know how it is that we're going to put something in for zoning and advertising it now when it hasn't even gone to the zoning or planning commissions to be dealt with yet. So I do understand that it's on a fast track program, but this is beyond rushed. You need to understand how serious this is. And we're not talking about the politics, the guy that owns it. We're not talking about all the horrible lawsuits and stuff. We're not talking about any of those things. We're talking about the fact that this is exactly what happened with this data center, right? These big buildings and big projects come in, they get fast-tracked at higher levels, everything gets pushed down. Falls Township's the place to be because we've been industrial before, and all that's great. But this is literally on Penn Valley Road, right after the Route 13 entrance and exits, and then before the trailer parks. So if this goes in, this is one entrance in and out where KPK is, and it's gonna be literally for this. Women are renting clothes, all 50 states. The clothes are going to come in. They have to get quarantined because you have biocontaminants that you're introducing from all 50 states into our area. And then after quarantine, they're going to go through a dry cleaning process. There's two processes, 70% wash, 30% dry cleaning, depending on what it is. Outerwear, it's kind of like sleeping bag material, coats, that type of stuff. All of those things have plasticizers. All of the chemicals required to wash them are going to contaminate. There are supposed to be still residue tanks. We still haven't seen any of that in any of these plants. They're not talking about how often it's going to be emptied, where it's going to be cleaned from. They're talking about actually cutting half of the 100-foot waiver that we usually, there's a 100-foot setback, typically, against any of the boundaries when you're doing a 1 million square foot warehouse that's the size of 5.5 supercenters for Walmart, right? They're asking to take the 100-foot setback from the creek down to 50 foot and to put in concrete basins because somehow they think man-made basins are better for the environment than a normal riparian buffer. Riparian is trees and grass and all of our natural things that slow us down, right? Kind of like hair, right? You don't want to get stuff into your scalp, so we have hair to slow it down. That's what grass and trees and everything are for, right? So I'm dealing with the lawyers directly. I'm dealing with asking the questions to the buyers directly. That call is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Why am I doing this? Why isn't anyone else interested when I'm asking people on the subcommittees like, hey, as normal residents, you're volunteering for the EAC, you're interested in the trees, have these calls, let's find out. Like, that's why we're here. I'm not here to talk at everybody. I'm not here to talk at you. I'm here to make changes, right? So now we've gotten them to agree to native trees. What does that even mean? We've gotten them to add more landscaping. What does that even mean? Do you know? Do you care? Why don't you join us with the calls? Why don't you join us at the Planning Commission meeting tomorrow night? How about we do the zoning meeting first before you start putting the advertising out? Because what's going to happen is you put the advertising out now, 30 days, we're going to have the zoning meetings and the planning commissions, then we'll come and see you within 3 or 4 days, and because you've already posted the advertising, you're just going to pass it. You can't. This is so dangerous. It's right in the middle of the neighborhood. It's going to cut off the elementary school from the mobile homes they live in, and the people in the mobile homes with any disabilities or problems from the hospitals and from the emergency personnel that we need them to be able to access. Please look at this closer. Thanks.
I'm from Bordentown, New Jersey. where residents live within 2 miles of the data center campus, and we're right over the water, right next to all of these big industrial projects you guys are letting go up. And is there an impact study yet for any residents across the Delaware River for this 11 data center campus? To my knowledge, there is not. According to the United States Constitution, public law, and your own Pennsylvania Constitution, your approval of this project, and apparently these new projects that are going up right next to schools, are illegal. You are committing a breach of peace by basic definition. You are endangering the public's health and safety for your own profit. This includes child welfare endangerment, because again, it's right next to a school, Mr. Dents. And you are guilty of treason, because the Amazon Warehouse Data Center campus could not deny the fact that they are guilty of committing crimes against humanity, or they're going to be processing data for organizations that are committing crimes against humanity. I'm happy to provide you more information. I've already sent it over to you in the DEP. You're creating a public nuisance. You are creating a public nuisance with all of these different businesses, and you're abusing your power. Public officials are not exempt from breaking the law or the Constitution, including for the creation of industrial zoned projects. And they are still to bear the consequences of directly harming their citizens and neighboring communities. These hyperscale data centers have been factually proven to you multiple times by multiple unbiased sources to be an extreme health and safety hazard for your citizens, all of PA and New Jersey, and everybody else that's facing the global climate crisis right now. Especially being because we've never been in a climate crisis before, so you must act differently. You cannot just continue to industrialize as if it does not have an effect and an impact on the global climate crisis, Mr. Manager. I know, it's terrifying information, and it's very stressful that we have to be here like this. To compare this site to a steel mill, as you have done, when Amazon could not again deny that they would not be processing data for crimes against humanity, is negligent to the highest degree. Therefore, in accordance with this law, as I am witnessing these actions of intent and conspiracy with my own eyes with several witnesses, as you have undoubtedly poisoned your entire community to no end, and you have the intent to continue to do so, as we have heard from your constituents here, myself and several other brave Americans will be calling for the arrest of these local officials for this public endangerment, for breaking these laws and for breaking our Constitution and your Pennsylvania Constitution. You have broken the Pennsylvania Constitution. Yes, you are nodding your head yes, because you know it is true.
Collectively, correct. The police are here. They might arrest us if they believe you're accurate in your statement.
We don't need to worry about this gentleman's time. We're going to be coming to get you with a group of citizens. I'm at 3 minutes. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And if the police do try to help you when we do finally come for you, instead of the people for any reason, as you know, there is a lot of corruption here apparently, then I will call for the citizen's arrest, because again, we have the conspiracy, we have the intent, we're witnessing you commit these harassment crimes. You're laughing at me. I cannot wait to see you behind bars, absolutely, on the grounds, again, of public endangerment and your abuse of power. Again, you do not get a pass because you're on a board of supervisors to just poison communities, and I have absolutely no problem going to the Pennsylvania state and suing them as well for allowing such negligence to happen and breaking the Constitution again. We all have the right to clean air, clean water. We can't just let forever chemicals go on forever and ever right next to schools and horrible things like this. You're not allowed to just do these things without expecting legal repercussion. Or you could table these things immediately. You still have the power to do so. You still have the power to end these projects. You still have the power to say no. Why are you shaking your head no? You do have the power. You 100% have the power, sir. And to say that you don't, in my opinion, for that part at least, is negligent. But again, this is not going to be up for me to decide. We have a lot of viable evidence against you. And it is going to be up to a judge to decide. And I can't wait for that day. Genuinely, I cannot wait. The Commonwealth Court, we are coming for you as a group of citizens here. Again, you can choose now. You can choose to table all of these things. We have the substantial evidence. We demand you use your positions of power to do your job and to protect the citizens. That's what you were appointed to do. Not to hurt people, not to poison children. I shouldn't have to come up here and ask you to not poison children further than you already have. It's absolutely disgusting. We're in a climate crisis. None of you are aware of... Okay, I cannot wait to have you be arrested, and I cannot wait
we're going to take a brief recess before we get into the agenda. Thank you.
Lawsuits coming your way, you will all be facing jail time 100%. You cannot
I call the meeting back to order. Item number 3 is consideration of approval of certificate of appropriateness, 16 Main Street in Fallsington. Replace roof, added dormer to each side of the house, and replace windows.
Chairman, we did not have 45 minutes of public. Let her speak. Because you did not start the public speaking at 7 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Just tell them, should we let her speak or what? All right, you can speak. Go ahead. We'll let you speak.
Thank you so much. Excuse me. Good evening. My name is Kristen Martyr, and I am the mayor of Florence Township, New Jersey, across the Delaware River from Keystone Trade Center. I attended the July 14th PADEP public meeting regarding the Amazon data center project. At that meeting, I raised concern that remains unresolved. Florence Township and the neighboring New Jersey communities were not meaningfully included in the information sharing process as this enormous project evolved, despite being immediately across the river. Since then, I've been trying to determine how our municipalities are supposed to receive information, and more importantly, what happens when our residents experience impacts from a project located in Pennsylvania over which we have no which we have no land use jurisdiction. I'm asking Falls Township to establish a direct government-to-government communication process with Florence Township, Bordentown City, and Fieldsboro regarding significant future actions, changes, approvals, and operational issues involving this campus. Tonight, however, I particularly want to address noise. At the July 14th PADEP meeting, when I asked what recourse New Jersey residents would have regarding sound from this project, I was told directly that PADEP does not regulate noise and that noise issues are the responsibility of Falls Township. Amazon representatives also discussed acoustic modeling, stated that negative sound impacts were not anticipated, and referenced the nearest resident as being more than 5,000 feet away. Since that meeting, I have reviewed Falls Township's own zoning hearing board records, and what I found raises several important questions. On August 13, 2024, North Point appeared before the zoning hearing board seeking a variance from the township's section 209-43.f noise and decibel restrictions for portions of the Keystone Trade Center. The public agenda identified North Point, the parcels, and the request for relief from the noise restrictions. It did not identify the proposed use as a data center or identify the prospective tenant. During the hearing, however, North Point disclosed that it was bringing in a prospective tenant that intended to operate a data center. The discussion acknowledged that the data centers can produce continual low noise. Most importantly, a member of the public specifically raised concerns at the hearing about the humming and whirring associated with data centers and submitted written research concerning those noise impacts. The board discussed noise levels, decibels, and mitigation, and then granted the variance from section 208-43.f. That leads to what I believe is the most important question tonight. What enforceable noise standards actually govern this data center campus? If the specific property line decibel limits contained in section 200-43.f do not apply because of that variance, what objective standards will Falls Township use when a resident makes a noise complaint? I'm also requesting a clarification regarding the scope of that variance, including exactly what parcels and data center uses it covers, and whether any condition or alternate noise standards were imposed when it was granted. I would also like Falls Township to provide any baseline sound study, acoustic study, noise impact analysis, or predictive acoustic model submitted for this project. Specifically, I would like to know where the sound receptors used in those studies were located and whether Florence Township, Bordentown City, Fieldsboro, or any other New Jersey locations across the Delaware River were included. I would also like to understand the basis for Amazon's reference to the nearest resident being more than 5,000 feet away, and whether Falls Township independently reviewed or verified that assumption. Finally, our residents need a clear complaint and enforcement process before this facility becomes fully operational. Who does a Florence Township resident call if they experience a persistent low-frequency hum, high-pitched fan noises, or other disruptive sound? Who investigates the complaint? Who takes the sound measurements? What happens if the problem occurs at 2 o'clock in the morning? And who is ultimately responsible for correcting it? North Point, the property owner, Amazon Data Center Services, the facility operator, or some combination of these parties. I am asking Falls Township to provide Florence Township, Bordentown City, and Fieldsboro with a written noise complaint and enforcement procedure, a direct telephone number and email address, identification of the enforceable noise standards that apply to this property, and identification of the party responsible for correcting the violations. I have submitted these questions to the Township Manager in writing, as well as the code official. If the board does not respond to questions during public comment, which I understand we don't, I respectfully request a written response. I am not here to interfere with Falls Township's authority. Florence Township is asking for something very basic, a clear process for protecting residents on both sides of the Delaware River from impacts of this project, and a direct line of communication between our municipalities. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to item number 3 on the agenda is a certificate of appropriateness for 16 Main Street, Fallsington. A roof, a dormer on each side of the house, and replace windows. Any questions from board members? Mr. Lotecki?
No.
Ms. Mullen?
No.
Mr. Palmer? Yep, the hard
Yes.
board did approve it. Any public comment needed? No hands. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 4. Consideration of approval of certificate of appropriateness for 59 Old Locust Avenue in Fallsington. Remove the existing solid rail and replace with mahogany top rail, bottom rail, and balusters. Paint the house. This one's just as straightforward. Any questions from board members? Mr. Lotecki?
No.
Ms. Mullen? Mr. Palmer?
No, I just want to say again, I appreciate the residents of Fallsington who go through this every time they want to make a renovation.
This was approved by the hard board as well. Any public comment needed? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 5, consideration to release the QPI performance bond in the amount of $4,499,000, which was posted for the Falls Township Municipal Building renovation project effective as of July 27th. In conjunction with that release, consideration to accept the QPI maintenance bond in the amount of $490,763.20, which was posted for the Falls Township Municipal Building renovation project beginning on February 4th. Mr. Clark?
Yes, this is pretty standard in a construction project like this. The engineer and the contract manager have declared this portion of their work substantially complete. Once the project is declared substantially complete, we are to release the performance bond and we move into the maintenance period. Since the engineer and the construction manager determined that it was in February of 2026, that is when the maintenance period should run from. We are still holding approximately $500,000 as part of the maintenance bond.
Thank you. Any questions from board members? Mr. Lotecki?
No.
Ms. Mullen?
No.
Mr. Palmer?
No.
Any public comment needed? Go ahead.
Tony Batiste, does this have anything to do with the electric within the building?
What do you mean?
Well, the last meeting, the last couple times, the lights in here
Well, they
were-
came and they you talk about the flickering lights. They came and they replaced the lights upstairs, and I don't see these flickering tonight. I haven't
No,
noticed.
they're not tonight,
Right,
but
if
they were.
I don't know if
That's-
they've touched these or not, but like Mr. Clark said, their maintenance bond period starts, what was the date?
So that'll be covered
February.
under maintenance if
Yeah,
it starts
yeah,
up
and there's still
again?
$500,000 we're holding.
Okay, thank you.
Any other hands?
The maintenance bond runs for 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Good. Is there a motion to release the funds?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Where are we at? 6. Item 6, we're going to, motion to table, please.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. All right, item 7, we're back to this Newly thing. Mr. Clark, can you explain why we need to, even though we don't have plans in front of us and it hasn't been through planning, why we're doing this zoning overlay advertisement? We're only advertising tonight, by the way.
So this is the request for a zoning change for the property that is listed in the ordinance. Tax parcel numbers 13-013-010 and 13-013-011. This is a necessary step in the process to begin to be able to send this to the Bucks County Planning Commission and the Falls Township Planning Commission. Again, this is a request for a zoning change. You have to authorize advertisement. It goes to the planning commissions. When we get the planning commission's recommendations back, then it will be advertised for a future meeting.
Again, this is a motion to advertise. Any questions, Mr. Lotecki?
No.
Ms. Mullen?
No.
Any motion? Go ahead. Public comment.
Jen Metzger, Falls Township. That's why I was concerned, because the problem that I have is Falls Township consistently puts everything on their agendas as first and final, preliminary and final land development at the same time. So tomorrow night's planning commission meeting is written the same way. So that's my concern, is if you're going to post the zoning advertising, zoning change advertising, they're going to literally preliminary, final, and not for nothing, the planning commission's agenda was just posted today. So this is the first time anyone's ever seeing it. If somebody watches your videos back on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, they're not going to see this in time for them to even come to the meeting tomorrow. You'll have already posted it, which means we're already going into the advertising period based on the planning commission giving you a letter tomorrow to recommend first and final land development to allow for the change. So I think it's beyond rushed at that point. We're talking about less than 36 hours. This is the same thing that happened with the EAC and the Shade Tree Commission being combined. It was mentioned for 10 seconds in an April meeting.
Here,
missed it. Yep, you mentioned it for 10 seconds. Missed it. In May, you passed it. So the one
What do you
time
mean
I
missed
don't
it?
come.
Oh, you didn't. You missed it.
Yeah, the one time I don't come, you mentioned it for 10 seconds in one meeting and 31 seconds in the second meeting, a month apart, and that was it.
So we
And I had
advertised
asked you that day.
it. We had advertised it
Right,
and
but
then
I
passed it.
asked you that day
About what?
about it and said, hey, I haven't heard anything since January when I applied. I mentioned it every month. And you're like, okay. And I missed it in the meeting 30 days before. I asked you about it during public comment. I had to leave at 7:30 at that meeting because it was one of the hour-and-a-half days for public comment. And that was it. You passed it. Now you tell us, okay, I'm going to send the solicitor to the EAC and Shade Tree Commission meeting last time, and she's going to be there to explain all of the rules and regulations. She didn't. She didn't explain anything. They missed a bunch of motions sitting during that meeting. That's what I'm concerned about with this, is we're going to go, the people don't do their research before the subcommittee
Planning
meetings.
commission you're talking about.
Planning
now.
commission tomorrow. They're not going to have researched everything about Newly. They're not going to have the chance. They're
That's
going to
not-
hear
wait,
about
hold
what
on.
you heard, about 3 minutes, right?
No.
And yes,
Go ahead.
because that's what's happening. That's exactly what happened at the EAC
The
and the
planning
Shade Tree.
commission, their job is not to decide whether it's an appropriate use. Their job is to look at the project to make sure it fits and works where it's at. They can't decide, that they don't like Urban Outfitters or Newly or whatever and decide not to pass it for that reason. Am I correct, Mr. Clark?
Their job is to look at the proposed plans and see how it conforms to the zoning ordinance and the saldo.
Right.
As it relates to the zoning change, they're to review the potential zoning change, see if it's consistent with the comprehensive plan, see if it's consistent with the saldo, see if it's consistent with the zoning ordinance.
But it's not. That's why they're asking for the change. So that's what my concern is that there's a lot of rules that I understand you're stuck, you have to follow, like 1968 rules and
Right.
1972. I get that. But what I'm saying is this is actually a zoning change. This is not something that falls under those rules that says we're required to follow what the current zoning is and we can't change it. We're literally having a buyer and an owner look at it and go, we want to change it because we want to bring this new business in. And that's great. Bring the business down into the brownfield, right? Take it where you already have the water, the contaminants and everything already set up. Don't put it where you're literally going to choke off the rest of the community that we have that literally is going to 2 schools within a mile.
Choke off how?
Because you've been on Penn Valley Road before?
Sure. Yeah, all the time.
Okay, so this is in and out for one location with 1,500 parking spaces, which by the way is short by 500. And you're talking about having a 24/7 facility with all of these big rigs coming in and out
There's
from
no big
all
rigs
over
at
the
all.
country.
They don't even have loading docks.
How
I
are
don't
they
think.
bringing it?
With Sprinter vans and trucks like that. They don't have loading docks. Am I correct, Mr. Jones? We only saw a sketch plan, but when they came to us with their sketch plan, we didn't see the final drawings yet because they haven't submitted them
You're
yet.
not even close, right?
Right, they don't have tractor trailers. There's no tractor trailers going in and out there all the time, and there's hardly any loading docks. Usually 1 million square foot buildings you'll see has loading docks up and down the sides of them. There's none. Or there's maybe a few.
Yeah, that's not what they showed us when we
There
were
are some in the rear of the building, but
looking
the
at
front
the
is all
visibility
parking.
board.
Maybe 15.
Yeah, right.
So there's 15 loading docks.
No, that's an approximation. Tomorrow we'll be
Yeah.
able to answer that definitively.
Right, but you're jamming it into a very small location
Okay,
with a
but
very
we're
small
talking about
turn
two
in and
different things
out.
now. They haven't even submitted a plan yet to us to say
So
that.
how is it first and final tomorrow?
Explain the preliminary and final process, Mr. Clark.
We already talked about this.
No, he didn't. Our committee
Yes,
didn't.
I've asked multiple
Listen,
times about
he's
this
on record
project.
now.
They're asking for preliminary and final.
Yes.
So they don't have to come back to the planning commission again.
I understand.
If you get preliminary approval and there are not substantive, significant changes, you are normally entitled to preliminary and final at that point in time. If there are significant changes to the ordinance, then the planning commission can require them to come back for final. I think one other important thing about this project is this zoning change does not change the use. They are permitted to, for the particular use, they are permitted to put it right there. What they are looking for the zoning change and why they have requested it is because of dimensional issues, not environmental issues. They'd still have to go through all the things that they need to go through. They'd still have to get all their sewer certifications from the sewer authority having jurisdiction. It's not a use. They are already permitted to put this use there. It is dimensional regarding impervious surface and setbacks and things along those lines. That's the only change.
I thought there was a use change because it's not for industrial there.
Nope,
It's not
nope,
for
nope.
those chemicals.
Nope, they can put that use right there now.
So you're saying they already have the industrial use that they require to
It's
put
heavy-
a
it's heavy-
chemical facility
it's-
there?
It's heavy industrial. It's already zoned heavy industrial.
No, it really isn't already. I'm not trying to be,
That's
I thought it was
only
agricultural and now it's going to be
Hold on, hold on, we can't yell over each other.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the zoning map shows that a portion of the tract, and there's 2 parcels, I believe, 2 tax parcels. The portion that he's using to reclaim the mine, the quarry lake, is zoned FM. The other portion is zoned heavy industrial A.
And they want to combine them, is that my understanding? It said that they wanted to do a
Consolidation, subdivision.
subdivision. They want to combine the 2 parcels so that they're able to use the partial use from the one to cover the entire. But you see what I'm saying? Like
No.
it's changing. Really?
I get what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, yeah.
It's changing the use to putting it in a dangerous area, and it really is jammed up against North Park, all of our man-made lakes, and it does really separate the mobile home park from the school, the elementary school that the kids are going to. It really is a very tight road for you to turn around and now all of a sudden have all of this traffic. If anything goes wrong, we're talking serious. And remember, you've already spent millions of dollars one exit down at Martins Creek and Mill Creek. There really has been a ton of money there.
The
And you
applicant,
have somebody who's an expert on, don't, jam up the water, the exit up and think that that's acceptable. He wrote articles on it and everything.
part of
He
the,
understands it.
I didn't write articles on it.
Well, somebody wrote an article about you because you wrote an opinion on it.
Somebody asked me for an opinion and I gave it to him, then he wrote an article.
I'm complimenting you. It doesn't happen often. Go with it, man.
He's not used to that.
I know, go with it.
The project's going to need PennDOT permits, and the PennDOT requirements are probably going to include widening. And so it's not going to be the Penn Valley Road that you're used to, it's going to be an improved Penn Valley Road.
Made you look good.
Is that it, Jen?
Please don't do it there.
Okay, thank you. We're not approving any project tonight.
No, but you're rushing.
We're not rushing anything. We're approving the zoning advertisement so that they can move forward with planning. Go ahead, Tony.
But it doesn't say that on your paper.
It does.
No, it says here that you're having a hearing for them to transfer your.
Okay, we can't yell over each other. Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, I'm having a hard time understanding between what Mr. Clark said as far as needing to do the advertising before the planning commission. All right, but the planning commission is already set for tomorrow night. If you advertise, it's not going to be in tomorrow's paper. It may be online, but it's not going to be in the paper, so it won't count.
Yes, it will count, because we're not talking about advertising for the planning commission. We're talking about advertising for an ordinance adoption at a future Board of Supervisors meeting.
Okay, but that sort of sounds like you're jumping the gun and that there's been pre-discussion on all this, which is a violation of the Sunshine Act because it hasn't been in any of the Board of Supervisor minutes.
So how would that be a violation of the Sunshine Act? They sent in an application which was reviewed by Mr. Jones. They've sent in a request for an authorization to advertise. The agenda was set to advertise this so this project could begin the review process. The board is going to vote tonight whether or not to advertise it.
Okay, but it's advertising for something that hasn't even been presented to the Planning Commission yet.
But
So that's kind of like ahead of
it's not advertising for the planning commission. It's advertising for a ordinance adoption at a future Board of Supervisors meeting.
But why would you do it unless you plan?
Because this starts the process to allow the application and the land development application to go to the Bucks County Planning Commission and the Falls Township Planning Commission.
Well, who does it go to first? Falls Township?
It's going to Falls tomorrow night, and then it'll be transmitted to the Bucks County Planning Commission within days.
So this is something that has to be done before you can rezone something.
Correct. Rezonings need to be reviewed by the Bucks County Planning Commission and the Falls Township Planning Commission.
Okay, thank you.
Any other hands for public comment?
I'm Sarah. I'm a Falls Township resident, Sarah Kirk. So I feel like I have a general understanding of how municipalities work, and a lot of what you're explaining right now doesn't make sense to us, or the general public. Some people behind me probably are much smarter, but so it sounds like this parcel of land, which we all know where it is, there's parks right there, there are schools not far from there, I don't live far from this area, and so it sounds like, what is it currently zoned as?
Part of it is farming and mining, where they've been dumping the stuff in the hole in the ground, and the other part is zoned heavy industrial. Then the
So-
back half that goes all the way to Tyburn Road, I'm not sure what that's zoned.
So what do the residents of the township get from this? It looks like we're adding more heavy industrial to our already heavy industrial area. I mean, we've already come up here talking about the air quality, the water issues around here. Why are we adding more heavy industrial?
Is it considered heavy industrial?
It's zoned for that.
It's zoned for that.
And
This isn't necessarily a heavy industrial project.
Well, I mean, you have 15 bays for trucks to unload things and then all the machines inside. I feel like if that's not heavy industrial, it's bordering it pretty closely.
Well, they're cleaning clothes and repairing them, I believe.
Yeah, but now we have to count, so we have 15 bays, all these possible Sprinter vans, trucks. This is more pollution to this area, and I don't see what is our benefit from it?
Tax revenue and jobs?
tax revenue and jobs, but we couldn't put something else there that's a little bit.
We don't
better for the
decide what to
environment.
put there. We can't, we don't
But
tell
you
people.
guys say that, but I don't understand how all municipalities around here are able to say no. Why aren't we able to say no? You guys are acting like this, like, oh, our hands were tied with the data
No,
center.
no,
our
no,
hands
nobody
are tied
said
with
our hands
this.
are tied with this. We can't
what
deny
I'm
it
saying.
just because we don't, they're gonna come and
But you
make a
can say no to
presentation.
rezoning it. You guys have the
I
ability.
don't think it's a bad project.
That's your opinion, but you have a whole
I
group
know
of
it's
people
not, and
here
when
not
they come
agreeing
before
with
us,
you.
there's 5 of us here for that reason, and the public will have their comment then as well.
But
5 people also decided on the data center.
And nobody cared about the data center when we approved it.
that's not true, none of us.
Tony Batiste did, I apologize.
I was like
Mr.
6
Dent,
weeks
I would
postpartum, I
recommend
apologize for not being
allowing
there.
the speakers to make their public comment without
Okay.
comment.
Yep.
Okay, well, these have questions, though, because we're rezoning an area. I feel like I do.
We're only advertising.
So but if we don't advertise it, why don't we take more time to look at this to see if this is actually a beneficial thing for the people here? Because it's.
This is how the process works.
Mr. Dent, I would recommend you allow
Okay.
the speakers to make their comments.
No, I am asking a question. I am asking.
And it's been answered multiple times.
It hasn't. though.
Yes, it has been.
How is it
This
answered?
starts the process to send it to the planning commission for their review.
Then I'm telling you, maybe we shouldn't start that process yet, because this looks like you're putting the horse in front of the cart again, which you continuously do, Mr. Clark.
And you do understand, Ms. Kirk, that they can build this now without any
How?
any
Because only
use
half
relief.
of it is heavy industrial, the other part is farming and mining. So what, are they gonna start farming on that half? That would be better. So how are they able to do that if we don't rezone it? Could you answer for me, Mr. Clark, since you are the extraordinaire of knowledge?
It's not necessary.
It is, though, because he's been disrespecting us the entire time.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
And-
All right,
and please don't try to start that narrative. I haven't been disrespecting anyone.
Okay, so you weren't laughing the whole time people were speaking earlier? You laughed.
Well, when the one woman was talking about people being arrested, I have to admit, I did laugh. I apologize that was a little humorous to me. But they can go forward with this plan because of the way it's currently zoned. The request to rezone the property has to do with dimensional issues, not with use issues.
So then, I live in Falls Township, I have my residential area, so I can now build into my neighbor's plot because I can just do that if I want to now, then you guys can come talk about it up here, and you can
You're being
advertise it.
ridiculous now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
That my children live
All right,
here,
I'm not
you
supposed to
have
say anything.
destroyed this area by just putting profit over people, and sorry, we're a little frustrated.
Hold on, this man's next.
No, I'll be out of here in a second. I just need to get this off.
You got to wait and make public comment like everybody else. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. If it makes no difference whether it's farm and mining or MPM, which is what you want to change it to, material processing and manufacturing, then why advertise? You can do it now without it, why do it?
We're not
Well,
doing
it's for, wait a
anything.
minute, it's for dimensional things. In other words, you want to reduce the setbacks. You want
I
to change
don't wanna
impervious,
reduce
well,
anything.
not you personally, but they want to change the setbacks. They want to change impervious surface. They want to make it better and easier for them to go in there. And as you can see, there's a lot of people who don't want it in there. Now, somebody asked you to advertise this ordinance change. I assume it was newly. I mean, it didn't drop out of the sky. Somebody said, let's put this on the agenda, item number 7. And if it's newly, they're doing it for their advantage. We don't have to do something for somebody's advantage just because they ask us. There's 4 industrial parks in Falls Township. Cabot Boulevard, Newbold Road, and of course, North Point. That would be a more suitable project in any of those locations than it is right there next to environmentally sensitive Martins Creek, little 2-lane road, which may get widened, but it'll get widened, 10 feet beyond where the entrance is going to be, and then it's going to narrow down again, and it's going to cause a squeeze point and traffic problems. There's no harm in tabling agenda item number 7 tonight and think about it a little bit more, about what you might want to do, what the citizens and the residents of Falls Township want you to do. It's not going to hurt anything to delay it. So I'm asking that you table it for tonight. we look at this. Don't let this become another data center project.
We're only advertising. We're not approving anything tonight. We're not approving a zoning
Why
change.
advertise it?
Why
advertise
not? Why wait till next week?
Mr. Dents, let the speaker make his comment.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
I know, it's okay. But then why not delay it? What's it gonna hurt? What's the worst-case scenario if you table this tonight and you talk about it next month?
And what's that gonna do? I'm sorry.
Mr. Dents.
You know, just table it, and let's think about this a little more, let's get a little more input from the community. This is where the data center really fell apart, the lack of communications, the lack of transparency. And this is what, it's happening again. You gotta learn your lesson. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Spidey? You have to come up to the mic. And state your name, please.
All right. That's exactly right. Here, Bucks County Spider-Man.
No, please state your real name.
Ben Riley.
Okay, and your residence?
Bristol Township.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. You've seen me speak before. I'm very concerned about this data center project, and what we see going on here seems to be very similar, but I would like to make it very known that the Upper Marion Data Center over in the neighboring Montgomery County just got rejected by its own Board of Supervisors. Their land application just was completely rejected. I think it was August 10th or 14th that happened. I'm just wondering why that didn't happen. And I know we're a lot later into this process than they are. And we're in the
Are we talking about the data center, or are we talking about this item 7?
I'm talking about data center because...
We're not here to talk about the data center. This is item 7 on the agenda, sir.
I understand that. I just need to know whether you're really on our side about this whole process, because I'm very concerned about this.
Mr. Dents, don't.
You keep saying you have the power to do something about this, and I saw you do that. Sorry, that you don't, but I've seen the Board of Supervisors over there do something to outright reject the data center and the business using their own shady business practices. And if you don't think Amazon does not have shady business practices, that's crazy. That's all I wanted to say.
Listen, we're back to item 7, sir. All right, is there a motion to advertise?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. All in favor? Aye. Item 8 on the agenda is a settlement between Pennsbury School District and the Bucks County Board of Assessments Appeals and Drobner Sherwin.
Excuse me, instead of a collective aye, could we have poll each member? I don't know how people are voting on it.
It was unanimous.
It was unanimous.
Unanimous, okay.
Um,
Remember collection time.
Pennsbury School District, Bucks County Board of Assessments Appeals, and Drobner Sherwin. Can you explain, Aspen Falls Apartments in accordance with the recommendations of August 3rd, 2026 from Cliff Bidley-Meyer. Mr. Clark?
This is a proposed tax assessment appeal settlement that is being recommended by the Pennsbury School District regarding a property that is located at 135 Trenton Road. This is a settlement that will result in additional taxes being paid to the township, the school district, and the county. The additional taxes for the township will be for tax years 2021 through 2026 and will result in additional taxes of $3,368.37. This is being recommended by the school district, and as the board is aware, we almost always follow the school district's lead in these instances because they get the greatest share of each tax dollar, about 86 cents. So if the school district is in favor of it, we normally agree with them. And we and Cliff Bidlingmeyer, who is your tax assessment appeal attorney, are recommending approval.
Any questions from board members?
No.
Getting money from tax appeals. Any public comment needed? No hands. Is there a motion?
There's a comment.
Oh, wait, there's a
Go
public
ahead.
comment.
Hi, I'm just wondering why at light speed you all were fine with poisoning children?
Okay,
Okay,
that's
back to
what the
I'm just
issue.
wondering,
And
just
can you
because
say-
you're moving.
Can you
pretty
say your
quickly on
name and
this.
your address, please?
Yeah, Kate Gaffney, Mercer County, New Jersey. I'm directly impacted by the Genesee.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, is there a
It turns
motion?
out I care about people other than myself. It's just something you want to keep in mind.
Okay, thank you.
Just a thought, just an idea.
Please have a seat.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And second?
For the
All-
tax?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we did that, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 9, Mr. Clark, this is a change order, or Mr. Jones?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we propose a change order to the 2026 road program improvement contract to include cost associated with reconstructing the South Olds Boulevard culvert. As you'll recall, PennDOT did an independent inspection and asked us to put a weight limitation on the bridge, and then subsequently asked us to shut the road down in that portion due to their concern about the condition of the culvert. And so we had the road program contractor who's working in that area already give us a cost. We like the cost. The change order amount is $1,160,092.35.
Did we budget for this?
We budgeted a large portion of that. I think it was 5 years ago, and it was $750,000. And we're confident that entire amount won't be used, because there's going to be some things in the price that we're going to be able to reduce through the design process.
And this is something that we have no choice but to do this, obviously, but this is to avoid the bid process. And if we did go out to bid, we don't know if it would come in higher or lower.
And it's a time sensitive, I think, more so than that, we don't want the road shut down for 7 months it would take to get through the bid process.
Any questions from board members, Mr. Lotecki?
No.
Ms. Mullen?
No.
Mr. Palmer? No. Any public comment needed? I see no hands. Is there a motion to approve the change order?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Shepherd, can you pull the board?
Supervisor Latecki?
Yes.
Supervisor Palmer?
Yes.
Supervisor Mullen?
Yes.
And Supervisor Dents.
Yes. Item 10, any boards or commissions we're approving tonight? We have an opening on the TOFA board and a letter from Mr. David Rubino. I'm going to make a motion to appoint Dave Rubino to the TOFA board. Is there a second?
A second. It's the unexpired term of Jim Goodwin.
The unexpired term of Jim Goodwin on the TOFA board. There's a motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any others? No hand, none? All right. That takes us to item 11, the minutes from June 27th. Any corrections to the minutes?
No.
No? Excellent minutes as always, Mrs. Poulin. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Jeff, just a clerical error. That's July 27th. That was a misprint on the agenda. So July 27th, 2026, our last meeting.
It does say July. Oh, okay.
That was a clerical error on the
Did I read
agenda.
June?
July
I'm sorry.
27th, last month's meeting.
That takes us to the bill list. Any questions or comments on the bill list from board members? $2,173,117.75. You had a comment?
Did you skip this on purpose?
Am I out of order?
Engineer.
Oh, I'll apologize. Engineers report, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last month, we had one new residential earth disturbance project submitted. The highlights and updates are identified in red. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'll touch on some of the township projects. We discussed the South Olds Boulevard culvert just a minute ago. And in terms of the road program, the contractor has installed, I think, 90% of the drainage improvements, and are now working on curbs and driveway aprons. And the Township building renovation project, we have one punch list item remaining for the contractor, and that's the paving at the rear of the building by the Public Works garage.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Jones?
No.
None? All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones. That takes us to the bill list. I apologize for that. What? Oh, okay. We don't usually take public comment on something we didn't take action on.
Okay, I just want to know. We don't all get a copy of what you get.
The engineer's report?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Is there a place on our website that we can go to look at?
No, because the majority of it is residential stuff, and it's people's personal information. I guess we could probably, the township projects he told us about, so. He tells us if there's any new township projects, or he tells us if there's anything that's been updated. So the only thing that has any kind of change is the culvert project and the road program. which he
Okay, but
discussed.
there are business projects that have been voted on and accepted, and we never know the outcome.
What do you mean? There's no new projects on here.
I didn't say new. I said old ones that have been approved that nothing's happening on, or things?
The updates that I put in the engineer's report are innocuous. It just describes the current work that's going on. For example, at Safe Store, they're working on interior building improvements and drainage. So that's what I haven't said out loud, but that's all that's in the comments.
Okay, because the ambulance place is still sitting in limbo.
Ambulance, please.
And,
Civ.
Oh, yeah, I think that's gone.
and up on Old Lincoln Highway, where he's building that two-story apartment place,
654 Lincoln Highway, there's no update to that.
right behind Oak Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know, is there a place on the website we could see this stuff? Since you guys all get copies, but we don't. Just wondering.
Thank you.
Transparency.
The bill list in the amount of $2,173,000, $117.75. Any questions or comments from board members?
I'm not a board member, but I do have a question.
I'll get to it.
Okay.
Anything from you?
No.
No.
Public comment? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, tonight when I demanded that the DEP look at the total combined health and financial.
This is a bill list. We're talking about the bill list
I
now.
understand that, but I do have a question.
Go ahead.
When do we know about the DEP looking into the whole thing about these generators that are proposed?
The DEP will let us know, I'm sure.
So how will I find out about that? Will there
I'm
be-
sure it's going to be all over the news.
Will there be another meeting for us for this?
We're not the DEP.
I know you're not.
Yeah, we're on the bill list. I'm sorry, ma'am. Any public comment regarding the bill list?
Thank you for answering me, or at least,
I don't have an answer.
I'm just asking, would we ever find out?
Yes, we will find out.
How would I find out?
The DEP website.
So I have to go to DEP website to find that information. But will there be any more stuff? in
No, this is the bill list. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Shepherd?
Supervisor Latecki.
Yes.
Supervisor Palmer.
Yes.
Supervisor Mullen.
Yes.
Supervisor Dents.
Yes. That takes us to the engineer's bill list. Any questions or comments from board members?
No.
No.
Any public comment needed?
Yeah, how do you get on the board?
Is there a motion to pay the bill?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Shepherd, can you pull the board?
Supervisor Latecki.
Yes.
Supervisor Palmer.
Yes.
Supervisor Mullen.
Yes.
And Supervisor Dents.
Abstain. That takes the manager comment. Mr. Shepherd?
Nothing additional tonight, thank you.
Any board comment? Mr. Latecki?
None.
I just have one thing, which is I wanted to say about Star Tours. Back when Sandy and Pete Borowski, the owners, came and they made like a really big push that they would be, they wanted to kind of really show off the community and be excellent neighbors. And I just want to say, I want to thank them and compliment them. They really hit that out of the park. I think for, you know, a bus depot place, I think they've made it look really nice, and I'm proud to have them in the township. So thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Borowski.
Thank you. Mr. Palmer?
No comment.
All right, and I have none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. It'll be...